Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mike here. Mike's Weather Page. It's my YouTube 5 o'clock, somewhere a little quickie. It's Tuesday, July 25th. We got Tropics to talk about. We got three things out there. Three. That's why I got my number 3 Dale Earnhardt Sr. hat on, number 3. Three little yellow spots to watch out there. Nothing's imminent. There's not a lot of confidence on at least two of these. Maybe the one coming in off of Africa. So we'll go into all those here in a second. But there you go. This is the latest Tuesday afternoon NHC graphic here. Number 1 here, we'll call it. This is an area of juice here. It's kind of from an old frontal line, an old trough, and it's just going to be making its way basically towards Florida and the southeast. It doesn't look like it's going to develop, but it is produce a lot of storms and a lot of rain, and it will bring increased action towards the southeast, Bahamas, Florida, especially later, maybe Thursday, Friday, even into the weekend. So that definitely is going to be, up in the rain chances, up in the storm chances. So if you're going down to the Bahamas in the next couple of days, keep an eye on this blobby mess here, and definitely going to increase the rain. We are going to see a pattern shift too, by the way. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We're going to finally see these storms brew in the middle part of the state and move west. We haven't seen that in a long time. We've seen rain incoming off the Gulf a lot. So kind of our normal pattern tomorrow, Wednesday, and then all this stuff, like I said, towards Thursday, Friday, even in the weekend, is going to be making its way. There's a frontal line coming down later in the weekend. This thing might get absorbed up into, we'll see where it goes after that, if it lingers in the Gulf or whatnot. But tropical development, not too likely. This little area down here, this is old Invest 95. It's reduced chances from 70% down to 10% now. Lots of wind shear ahead, coming in, coming down, actually. So this whole general area right here is going to have a lot of wind shear. Did bring a lot of rain and storms to the islands, and Barbados, Lesser Antilles is bringing rain across Trinidad, Tobago, the ABC Islands, Aruba there. So going to up the rain in the Caribbean, but development very unlikely. It's just going to end up crashing into Central America. Weaker systems go west, and that's what this one's going to do. So this is the one that's kind of curious. It's already got some spinach on satellite. This one's got a good chance it's going to be somewhere nearing the northern part of the Caribbean this time next week. It's all because of this high pressure breaking down a little bit, becoming a little weaker. So, Invest 95 was supposed to do that. I'm never 100% sold on these turning, but confidence right now is this thing's going to end up more on the northern part of the islands this time next week. I'm going to show you some models and see where it goes. It might recurve, might hit Bermuda, might get close to the United States. So this one might be the one that we watch. This one might become Emily. Emily's the next name on the list for tropics. Here's your water vapor map. You can see here we got a mid, upper level, low pressure area spinning. We got all this juice here. Blues and yellows are dry air, and there's not a lot of dry air out there, a lot of moist air. So this overall moisture content here in the atmosphere is going to be pushing its way towards Florida and the southeast, definitely up in the rain chances the next towards the end of the week here. Here's 95 juice, and then, of course, coming off Africa. So atmosphere is kind of flipping a switch here. There is still some African dust out there, but your precipitable water map here showing a big surge of moisture off of Africa. This is the reds and the oranges. This is that moisture surge lingering in the Atlantic, Western Atlantic, and then, of course, 95. So not a lot of dry air out there. There is current SAL map here, your dusty, dry air. And you can see that the wave coming in off of Africa now is actually in a moist environment. Not a lot of, dried air close to it. And then, of course, our area here is very void of any sort of dusty, dry air. And, of course, 95 still got a favorable environment, but wind shear. You got to have everything. You got to have everything clicking in the tropics in order to be any chance of formation. Takes time, takes moist air, low wind shear, a lot of things. But the one that was off of the Bahamas here, for a little bit looked like it had a little window opportunity, but I don't know. It's just not getting much support as far as modeling goes. Having enough time to develop a surface low. Let's see here. Here's a little more in depth of what that is going to be anyway. So this is an idea of the surge that we're talking about. So tomorrow, Wednesday, you can start to see the storms popping here in Florida on Wednesday. You can see that wind shift where they actually might push their way to the west. We haven't seen that forever. But if you look here later into Wednesday night, there is our blob here, the East Bahama. I call it the Bahama Mama on our Daily Brew show. But you can see it kind of pushing in. And as we get into Thursday, there you go. So we already are starting to see stormy action getting close to Florida here Thursday. And this is going to continue. If you look at the precipitable water map here from the Euro, red is very moist atmosphere. And you can see Thursday here. Here's that moisture. But this goes a little bit farther. And you can see into Thursday afternoon and even into Friday morning. So we can see a lot of rain Thursday and Friday. Setting up for the Florida Peninsula here, maybe touching some of the East Coast states. Where it goes from there, it's hard to tell. You know, the Euro has it kind of pushed through to the Gulf side. There is a front coming down over the weekend. So we'll just keep an eye on it, long range. You know, you never know. Sometimes these things can get in the Gulf and get going, but there is a frontal line showing up, which usually brings in a lot of wind shear. But bottom line on this is, could see some big rain and storms Thursday and Friday across the southeast, especially Florida. All right, we go to Weather Nerds. These are your weather ensembles. This is primarily what we're going to focus on here is that wave off of Africa. We don't have a lot of ensemble support for the two areas I've been talking about. So let's keep an eye on this spot coming off of Africa. And you can see that over time, the 1st of August is right here, basically. And that would be a week from now. So the first part of next week, there you go. There's a lot of support that this thing could get pulled northward. Wrapping around this high pressure area, which is kind of retreated a little bit to the northeast. That opens up the door for these things to pull. Like I said, there's a weekend front coming. These actually absorb systems and help them curve. So that's kind of the trend that we're looking at. Too far away to be certain, but a trend and a believable trend with the frontal line coming down over the weekend, weakening this high a little bit and allowing this thing to escape. So anyway, that's the latest models. It could always change, but confidence is there. Now, we do have a lot of people watching in Bermuda, and this thing is showing up some pretty strong lowering pressures here. So we could have something possibly to watch as this thing gets close. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if this thing changes. But as of now, it looks like it's pulling a little North Caribbean. Looks like it could curve a little more north. Then, of course, next week, we might have another wave coming off. So we're kind of getting into that African wave season here for systems one after another. They call it the African wave train. Individual modeling. There's tropical tidbits. Not really much on here to show you, except one thing I wanted to point out. So the Icon is very good at sniffing out early season systems. Here you go. Next week, Sunday, Monday, there's our low. A little lower than the Euro, so it's enough that the Caribbean should be watching. You can see that frontal line here coming in off the East Coast, so that might pick this up, but we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, nothing's ever guaranteed in the tropics this far out. But I do want to point out the GFS. GFS has been all over the place. As you know, the GFS is very inconsistent. It's a very unreliable model lately, the last year at least. But just so you know, it has been showing a pretty significant system getting awfully close to the East Coast. But it's also had some runs where it hasn't even showed anything. So very low confidence of that, but I do want to point it out. There is one model that you're going to see showing something of that scenario right there. And it's amplified. It makes sense. That's the general thinking. It feels that front and curves on out of here. But as of now, I'm a doubter that it's going to make it that far towards the coast. But it's enough to watch. That's why I show all scenarios. Euro showing a similar setup with a lot of ensembles possibly developing this thing. So, definitely worth pointing out that we might have something a little more stronger to watch here this time next week. So that's that wave coming in off of Africa that they just marked. Tropical history, just so you know where we're at. We're in the middle part of July, basically. Always slow this time of year. Everybody always tells me, why is the season so slow? Well, it's actually not slow now with 3 little birds out there. But we really don't get things going until maybe middle August and then September, October, November. So usually slow this time of year, very normal. Here's your July maps. Typically, we don't see anything in the Caribbean, or definitely the Atlantic, very little in the Caribbean. Usually in August is when things start picking up out there to watch. So we're kind of ahead of schedule a little bit. As far as the heat goes, real quick, we've had hazardous heat forever. It seems like we've had 110-degree heat indexes. Anytime they have hazardous heat, that usually means the heat index is a 110 plus. Looks like it's going to remain from Texas all the way to the East Coast, all of Florida, the end of the month, 729, 30, 31. But what this is bringing, the big news more than anything right now is the water temperatures. And I've been talking a lot about this. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. I got a really active TikTok account. In fact, it's my second largest media platform right now. But there's a buoy out there stationed in Manatee Bay yesterday, 724, reached 101 degrees. That could possibly be, if verified, it will be, if verified, a global world record as far as sea surface temperature. That's sea surface. They measure it about 5 feet below the surface. This one was measured about 4.9, I read. So if that verifies, we had a world record, 101 degrees down in the Keys. All these stations are reporting 95, 96. I saw a couple 98. So we want this system from the Bahamas to come up and start bringing some rain Thursday and Friday for sure. Your anomaly maps are still showing way above normal. This is your weekly anomaly map. This is where water temperature is based on a 30-year average. It's still warm. That's the biggest talking point of the season. Everybody, Weather Channel just came out with new updated hurricane numbers, and they're even higher than Colorado State University now. Still expecting a lot of activity, a lot of major hurricanes, and a lot of it's based on this warm water more than anything. Interesting to note right here, though, this little blue pocket, that was Dawn. We had a brief Hurricane Dawn, sat out here for a lot of days as a tropical storm. This is upwelling. Upwelling is where cool water comes up to the surface from below. Storms pull energy up from the ocean. That warm water helps fuel thunderstorm convection, but it also pulls up cold water from deep down below the surface. So this is a great map showing you what upwelling looks like. And yes, a lot of this is the rains too. So basically, combination of upwelling and rains cooled down the ocean temporarily from dawn. And we see this with tropical systems. So it's kind of fascinating to see that. I have all these links on my site, spaghettimodels.com, but this is current temperatures. We got 93.7 over in Texas. We got 92s up in Louisiana, and we got, of course, 94, 5, 6 here all across 90 in Clearwater. So temperatures are definitely hot for sure. So there you have it, a little tropical update quickie. A few things on my site here to help support things. People ask all the time. You can buy a shirt. We got an awesome store with some killer designs and colors and hoodies and glasses. You can also get an app with even more information. I send out notifications. You can watch the Daily Brew. There's a lot of designated links and some unique stuff only on the app. You can also become a subscriber to the page, and that's where we offer a lot of perks. A texting service, T-shirt, stickers, Christmas card, all kinds of stuff. So that's a great way to support MWP. Of course, our cruise coming up. We'd love to see everybody. We're limited. We only got a few spots left. So if you're a cruiser and you're a big fan of our page, we'd love to see you on our family cruise. It's in March. You can click on that link right here. Give you all the details. It's during spring break for a lot of folks. And then lastly, sold a lot of these little Tempest weather stations. I love mine. They give us a 10% discount. So if you're shopping for a weather station, we have a lot of MWP fans that have purchased them and love them. I love mine. So you get a 10% discount. A little bit gets thrown back to the page, helping things out. So little shameless plug there for stuff on our weather page. All right. Hope you enjoyed this on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're trying to get our channel up to 100K this year. That's the number one goal. We'll see you for the Daily Brew. Remember, we're live every day, Monday through Friday at 9:19 Eastern right here on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.